The rule that made you a billionaire isn't about money. It's about discipline. It's the moment you stopped chasing comfort and started chasing growth. When you realize success isn't built in public applause, but in silent consistency. Every morning you rise before the world does. Every decision you make in silence becomes your foundation. This speech isn't about wealth. It's about mindset. Because the true rule that made you a billionaire is this: you mastered yourself before you mastered the world. And once you did that, everything else followed. Mastering discipline over desire is the true foundation of transformation. Desire is easy, it's impulsive, emotional, and temporary. It burns bright but fades quickly when challenges arise. Discipline, on the other hand, is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It's the voice that tells you to keep going when your emotions scream to quit. Every successful person you admire didn't reach greatness because they always felt motivated. They reached it because they trained themselves to act regardless of how they felt. Mastery begins when you stop negotiating with your emotions and start following your purpose with consistency. The moment you stop letting your feelings dictate your actions, you begin to reclaim your power. Discipline doesn't eliminate desire, it redirects it. It turns impulsive cravings into long-term focus. It replaces short-lived pleasures with meaningful progress. The world glorifies instant gratification, but discipline teaches you delayed satisfaction, the patience to endure today so that you can win tomorrow. Every early morning, every sacrifice, every no to temptation is a quiet vote for the life you want to build. Discipline teaches you that you don't need to feel ready to act, you just need to act, and readiness will follow. Desire says, I want it now. Discipline says, I'll earn it daily. One fades with time, the other grows stronger with repetition. When you master discipline over desire, you stop being controlled by mood swings, distractions, or external validation. You start living on your own terms. The gym, the study table, the late night work, they stop being chores and become rituals of growth. You no longer chase the dopamine rush of shortcuts. You chase the satisfaction of self-respect. Discipline builds trust within yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your inner foundation. That trust becomes your confidence, your momentum, your edge. Desire can make you dream, but only discipline can make you achieve. It's the difference between wanting and becoming. Most people quit when the excitement dies because they were fueled by emotion, not by structure. But those who master discipline keep showing up long after the emotion fades. They understand that repetition creates excellence and consistency builds greatness. Discipline makes you the kind of person who no longer depends on motivation. You become the source of it. Your actions inspire others because they see a fire that doesn't burn out. You become unstoppable not because you're the strongest, but because you're the most consistent. True freedom is born from discipline, the freedom to control your habits, your time, and your mind. Once you master that, desire stops being your master and becomes your servant. You use it to fuel your vision, not to distract you from it. Every legend, every leader, every self-made success has one thing in common: they chose discipline when everyone else chose comfort. And that single choice, repeated over and over, became their destiny. Building wealth through mindset, not money, is the secret that separates those who stay rich from those who only get lucky. Money itself is just a tool. It's neutral, powerless without direction. But mindset determines how that tool is used, multiplied, and protected. A poor mindset can lose a fortune overnight, but a wealthy mindset can rebuild it from nothing. True wealth begins in the mind, in how you think, act, and perceive value. It's not about chasing money. It's about becoming the kind of person who attracts it naturally through clarity, discipline, and purpose. The wealthy think long term. They plant seeds today, knowing the harvest will come years later. They see opportunity in challenges and lessons in failure. They don't fear risk. They study it, respect it, and manage it with wisdom. Meanwhile, those trapped in a scarcity mindset see only limits. They chase quick wins, avoid discomfort, and fear losing what little they have. But the truth is, mindset shapes reality. If you think small, you live small. If you think abundantly, you begin to notice chances others overlook. Building wealth is a reflection of inner growth. The stronger your thoughts, the sharper your decisions, and the more disciplined your habits, the more value you create in the world. And wealth always follows value. It's not luck that makes people rich. It's their habits, patience, and emotional control. A rich mindset knows that the first investment is in yourself in learning, focus, and resilience, because knowledge compounds faster than any currency. When you sharpen your mind, you begin to see opportunities hidden in plain sight. You learn that saving isn't enough. You must also grow, diversify, and multiply. You stop buying things to look rich and start doing things to become rich in reality, in health, relationships, and peace of mind. Wealth is not just money in the bank. It's freedom of time, control over choices, and calm in uncertainty. A rich mindset prioritizes growth over comfort, strategy over impulse, and purpose over greed. It understands that money is a reflection of your ability to solve problems and create value for others. The more people you serve, the more wealth flows your way. When your mindset is aligned with abundance, you stop asking, "What do I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" And that shift changes everything. You attract partnerships and opportunities and ideas that multiply your impact. A poor mindset consumes, a wealthy mindset creates. The difference is not in their bank accounts, but in their belief systems. That's why so many lottery winners go broke, while self-made individuals rise again after every fall, because one had money without mindset, and the other had mindset without money. True wealth is internal before it becomes external. Once your thoughts align with abundance, your actions follow effortlessly. You begin to see money as energy, something that flows where purpose and discipline exist. You learn to control it instead of letting it control you. You understand that wealth is not about earning more, but about becoming more. And when you become more, wiser, calmer, more valuable, money naturally finds its way to you. Turning silence into unstoppable power is one of the greatest abilities a person can develop in a world addicted to noise. Silence is not weakness, it is strength under control. When you learn to stay quiet, to observe instead of react, you start to see what others miss. In silence, your thoughts become sharper, your emotions settle, and your focus deepens. You begin to understand that not every situation needs your reaction, and not every battle deserves your energy. True power is not in shouting louder than others, but in mastering the ability to remain calm when chaos surrounds you. Silence gives you space to think strategically while others act impulsively. It transforms your pain into reflection, your anger into clarity, and your confusion into direction. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you start conserving the energy that once went into seeking validation. That energy becomes fuel for progress. The loud chase attention, the silent chase purpose, and purpose always wins in the end. The more you withdraw from noise, the more you connect with your inner strength, the part of you that doesn't need to prove anything. Silence teaches you patience, and patience turns into control. You learn to wait for the right moment, the right word, the right move. Power grows in stillness because stillness builds awareness. You notice patterns, motives, and opportunities invisible to those who are too busy talking. Every moment you spend in silence sharpens your intuition, and intuition is the weapon of the wise. The world underestimates quiet people until they achieve what no one expected. They don't announce their plans, they execute them. They don't argue, they evolve. When you channel silence correctly, it becomes momentum. Every silent night you spend working, every quiet decision you make for your growth, every time you choose not to respond to negativity, it all compounds. Eventually, your results start speaking so loudly that your silence becomes your loudest statement. People wonder how you did it, but the truth is simple. You stopped wasting your power on noise. You learned that silence is not the absence of expression, it's the presence of control. You stopped explaining, defending, and reacting. You started creating, building, and observing. That's where transformation begins. Silence connects you with your higher self, the version of you that isn't moved by drama, fear, or insecurity. It helps you hear the quiet voice of intuition that often gets drowned out by the chaos of life. When you listen to that voice, your direction becomes clear, your confidence becomes unshakable, and your purpose becomes unstoppable. The strongest people are often the quietest, not because they have nothing to say, but because they've learned that actions echo louder than words. They understand that silence doesn't mean inaction, it means preparation. Every storm needs stillness before it strikes. The same is true for growth. When you embrace silence, you give your power time to build, like pressure behind a dam. And when the right moment comes, that power flows with unstoppable force. Turning silence into power is not about withdrawing from the world. It's about mastering yourself within it. Because once you can stay silent in noise, calm in conflict, and focused in distraction, you become truly unstoppable. Winning the inner battle before conquering the world is the foundation of every lasting victory. The real war is never outside, it's always within. Before you can lead, succeed, or inspire others, you must first gain control over your own mind. The greatest enemies you will ever face are doubt, fear, laziness, and insecurity. They live inside you, whispering reasons to quit, to settle, to play small. The world only mirrors the strength or weakness you carry inside. That's why true power doesn't begin when you achieve something external. It begins the moment you master your inner world. When you silence the noise of self-doubt and replace it with belief, your energy changes. You start making decisions from confidence, not fear. You stop waiting for the world to validate your worth, because you've already found it within. The inner battle is fought in silence, in the moments when no one is watching, when you're tempted to give up, when you feel unseen and unappreciated. That's where warriors are built. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, faith over fear, and growth over comfort, you win another small battle. And over time, those small victories create unshakable strength. You can't conquer the world if your thoughts are conquering you. Your mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It can create empires or destroy potential. That's why inner control is the highest form of success. It's easy to blame the world for your pain, but it's far more powerful to face yourself and rise above it. When you take full responsibility for your emotions, your habits, and your focus, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your destiny. Winning inside means mastering emotional balance, staying calm when things go wrong, patient when results delay, and confident when others doubt you. The mind is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Meditation, reflection, and solitude are not escapes from reality. They are the tools to sharpen it. The people who move mountains are those who have already moved past their own mental resistance. They've conquered their weaknesses before stepping into the world's challenges. When your mind is stable, chaos can't break you. When your heart is disciplined, temptation can't distract you. When your spirit is strong, failure can't define you. Winning the inner battle gives you peace, not the peace that comes from a quiet life, but the peace that comes from knowing no storm can shake your foundation. The world respects those who control themselves because self-mastery radiates authority. It shows that you fought the hardest war, the one against yourself, and you've won. From that point, no external failure can truly defeat you because you've already built resilience from within. Every great leader, creator, and visionary started by fighting their inner chaos. They learned to turn pain into purpose, fear into focus, and doubt into drive. They didn't wait for the world to change. They changed themselves first, and once they did, the world followed. Winning the inner battle is not a one-time victory, it's a daily practice. Each day you wake up, Your mind will test you. Will you control it, or will it control you? The answer determines how far you'll go. Because when you finally win within, no external challenge can ever take that power away.